What is up? I'm your host, Gabby, and welcome to the Shit My Roommate Says podcast. Come vibe with my guests and I as we share our stories and open up about the taboo topics that roam around in most people's minds. All right, welcome back to the Shit My Roommate Says podcast. I'm your host, Gabby, and today we have with us one of my fabulous friends from the great CC area. Let's give it up for Miss Emily. Hello there, ma'am.
Hey.
Hey. So I always have a running joke. So, of course, when I intro you, just imagine you're hearing thousands of applause and, you're that bad bitch feeling going on there.
Like, yeah.
I always think of that. Or what is the other one? What is it?
Oh my God. Taking it back to the 90s.
Let's do it. Well, ma'am, thank you so much for coming on today. And I am so excited to have you. I know you've, touched a few of our episodes before. How we like to start things off is you tell us a little bit about yourself and then a little bit about how we met. So feel free, take it away.
Okay. Well, of course, my name's Emily. I'm 29. I'm from Corpus area. I met Gabby at a wedding through a mutual friend, and it's just such a funny story because myself, Gabby, and her boyfriend were the only brown people at this wedding. We found each other and we're like, my people, and we just stuck together the whole time.
I tell Chef all the time, he likes to say, so I like to call boyfriend Chef on the show because he says that I'm already giving away so much of our personal life that he doesn't want me to give his name. I was like, I respect that. I appreciate you for your content.
I'm going to tell the world everything about you. I'll leave your name out.
I figured I would at least compromise a little since I'm giving a lot and he's, taking it. So I'm like, okay, I guess you be Chef because he is a bomb ass cook.
I was going to say, where did that come from? Is that a South Park reference?
So it is funny because when we started dating, we kind of course, were like, oh, tell us a little bit about your interests. I said, oh yeah, I can cook things. I said I can cook things. I never said I like to cook. It is two completely different things. So the woman, stubborn, prideful, independent, and that I am, was like, well, I don't cook. And he goes, well, yeah, I like to cook. And I was like, oh, match made in heaven. So he actually. So
what are you cooking for me?
He cooks everything. You just got to come over here, girl. He will turn the fire pit on. He'll turn everything on. Cooking is his shit. And so I was like, fine.
I like to eat, so we're good.
The weight adds on after all of these years. I'm like, you're screwing me over here. No, I want that extra serving. Give it back.
Like, it tastes good. I didn't say you could take it.
I said I'm a foodie, bitch. Give me my food. But no, so that's where he gets his nickname. But yes, I was telling him, I was like, he's always said that I gravitate to like a white crowd for some reason. I was like, I don't know.
And he went to that wedding and was like,
I just found it funny how it was like, it wasn't a small venue by any means. Like it was good space. And it was funny that us three out of this whole square footage found each other.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So funny. It's like, I was like, okay, cool. And then I was meeting people and I was like, they're brown.
That is what brings it to a funny but good part and great transition was that when I thought about having you on today, it's because I see so much of what you do on social media, of course. So I know you do modeling and you have, your professional job. And so the thing that makes me laugh with you is one, all of the content you post and kind of just like your personality with it all. So today, why I wanted to have you on was because I felt that you were perfect for growing up millennial. Boof. Mind blowing. Poof.
Cue the fireworks.
Cue, dude. Cue. It all
Story of my
started
life.
way back when. Press play now.
Story of my
But
life. I say that at work all the time.
it is one of those, like, I hate when people say, like, you're a millennial. I'm like, yeah, I guess, and it's because you and I both are 29. I'll be 30 this year, and I've been touched on that, like, millennial part. I've always felt like I had a big maturity to me, so I never really felt connected to a millennial. But as
Right.
I've gotten older and different experiences, I was like, yeah, I'm a motherfucking millennial.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
especially
this is
now that
here.
Gen Z is starting to pop up. I'm like, I can't relate to those people, but I can't also relate.
Fuck no.
I'm definitely right here.
No, and I feel that I feel like, I don't know, we have a perfect combination of, the stuff that is still current, but
Mhm.
now that our stuff is being considered old. Like, I
Right.
found it funny. So when, we were growing up, we used to listen to all this older music in the grocery stores, and now it's like I go to the grocery store and I hear the music from when I was growing up, and I was like, oh, this is it. This is 30. This is 30
Like
and
this is,
beyond.
oh my God, they're not playing Madonna anymore. It's NSYNC and Britney Spears.
Yes. I was like, and don't get me wrong, like, I'm fucking pumped in the stores. Like, I'm loving this shit. Like, Chef and Bad Girl Jewelry are looking at me like, Mom. No, I'm like, you need, I'm gonna get my peanut butter. Let's get that peanut butter. You get into it. And I
Right.
don't, there is one thing though that the Gen Z generation has done recently that I feel a little like, bitch, say what? And then a little alienated at the same time, is they're making fun of the hair.
Yes. Oh my God.
They make fun of my
I started
hair.
parting my hair down the middle.
So my hair naturally, like, kind of just does its own thing, but I guess I have a cowlick right now, whatever, whatever, irrelevant. But, like, I could just do this and it's going to fall whatever, but it's going to maybe do a side, or it might go in the middle.
Mhm.
And now that is considered old. My skinny jeans are
I
now
saw that
considered
too.
old. Go fuck
Yeah.
yourselves. They're not
Like,
old as shit.
excuse you?
I look good.
Like,
Okay. I like what I'm
fabulous.
wearing.
Like, I can buy alcohol and you can't.
Oh, you're young. Yeah, you're that Z. Mm-hmm. M is before Z. I'm just kidding. And we are first and
This is
only.
true.
Right? Just kind of put it into layman terms for you.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about growing up. So I know you're from Corpus. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
So I have an older brother and an older sister. My brother is 40 and my sister's 37 and I'm 29, so I'm the baby.
So y'all have a pretty good age differences there. Like, y'all each had a time for your own.
Yeah,
Y'all get along really
definitely.
well?
Um, when I was younger, they didn't have as big of an age gap as they did to me. So they would pair up and just pick on me, pick on me, pick on me. And I was just this sensitive thing. Everything would get to me. So I'd be crying all the time. But of course, as I've gotten older, they're starting to kind of recognize me as an adult and less like the little sister. So it's definitely gotten a lot better with time. But back then, heck no, I was the punching bag.
Yeah, with my family, I'm 29, my brother's 30. Then I have my sister who's 34. And then I have my sister who just turned 43. 43. I was like, wait, she's going to be pissed at me if I don't remember this. So she just turned 43. So we all kind of were within, like, a really close age range with each other, especially my brother and I.
Right.
And being the baby, yeah, there were those moments where it's like, well, I'm the baby, but
Mhm.
overall now, oh my God, all those years back, we hated each other's guts, couldn't stand each
Mhm.
other, wanted to kill each other at every moment. And
Yep.
now we can tolerate each other because alcohol is involved.
This is
But
true.
but now we all have kids, and now it's like all of us are tired, and now all of us are understanding why we didn't get along with each other to begin with. So we're
Right.
like, I understand it all now. I take it
And
back.
it's so funny because like my sister's oldest, he just turned 13. He is all me. Like he looks like me, had the same interests I did, same attitude, same walk. Like if I didn't know better, I would think he was my kid. Like they're twins. And I was like, you know what? God has a funny sense of humor. That is payback for you being mean to me all those years. And now you got to relive it. And you're a child. So here you go.
I I I like to say that I helped raise my nephew while he was growing up. So him and I have a really strong bond with each other. And it's so funny because he'll call me about different things, or now of course he's old enough to where it's like, you're no longer the little boy who wanted to listen to Who Let the Dogs Out and, watch Rugrats with me. No, you drive your own race car, Batmobile thing.
Yeah.
You talking about getting the ladies and whatnot. I feel
Yep.
so motherfucking old next to you. And then
Yes,
at the
that's
same
how it is with my nieces too. They one just turned 16 in October, the other will be 16 in May. They just got their permits last week and I'm like, what happened? You guys are older than I was when y'all were born now. Like, what's going on? I don't like it.
it's gotten to that point, right?
Mhm.
Now I see like the younger generation doing things, and it just mind boggles me. It mind boggles me to see certain things. Like I relate to all of those memes that are like, this is how I looked at 13. This is how you look at 13.
Yes, with our gaucho pants and our sequin belts, and now they're wearing crop
The
tops.
shoes with the fishnet, the ones that was like
Yes.
flip, they were like basically slippers.
Yeah, it was flip flops with the underneath, and they were not comfy, and they looked.
Not at all. And we thought the world of them.
Yes,
That
like
and the
where
like
was their ugly stage when they were 8?
they
Like,
it doesn't even count anymore.
no,
I
my
I
nieces are gorgeous.
oh my gosh, yes. My niece is 16, gonna be 17. And she laughs because she watches the episodes, and she's been mentioned now on at least maybe like 5 or so, maybe 6 of them. So
Yeah.
she'll catch the shout out.
She's like, me,
She's
that's
like,
me.
that's me. And so when I talk with her about things, I listen to different things she tells me, and about her growing up. She now has a job, she now drives, and
Hmm.
oh my god, I feel so old. And she tells me about different little things she's dealing with now, and
Yeah.
I'm like, we didn't have any of that growing up. No,
Hmm.
a boyfriend was not allowed. You had to sneak those.
Right.
Oh,
That's
you're driving a car. How old are you? I didn't get that until like I was 17, 18.
oh, same. So much same. And my first car was a minivan that I drove until I was like 18, 19.
I mean,
And
I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing with you,
I mean, shoot, it got me from point A to point B. I was rocking that granny mobile. I was a bit rolling
I
to
wouldn't have
school in it
minded it.
too.
I think to me, if I would have had a van, like, I don't even think I would have been pissed. I would have thought in the process, like, I can get dressed in here. Like, I can just be super late as hell and just hurry up, do my hair or some
That's
shit in
so.
the back.
I didn't
Like,
even use the back of it. I thought I'm gonna take my friends everywhere. I've got all this room, and then that was like the year all my friends had like a fallout. So I was just like me, a boyfriend around.
I would have been like, come on, we need perfect opportunities to utilize this van.
Right?
Did it
But
have a
it was
nickname?
fine. No, I didn't like a cool nickname. I gave my first car a nickname because it was a cute little white Grand Prix 4 doors with rims, and I was like, "Ooh, you bad girl! You're Pixie. You're Pixie the Grand Prix." So she got a nickname.
I was like a stripper.
My friend's dog's name is Pixie.
Is she a stripper too?
Oh, I mean, she could be. she's
Just
she's a
saying.
curvy dog. She's a black lab.
Oh, it's gonna happen. So wait, okay. Now that, coming back. So did you grow up in like a strict household, or did your parents have a little bit of leniency? Like, were you able to do a lot growing up?
I remember when I was little, like, I can't really remember my mom ever spanking me, but I was scared to fucking death of this woman. I don't know what she did to me to instill that fear of God into my soul, but she did it. I was scared, like, I'm just gonna get caught, so I'm not even gonna do anything wrong. And then I remember two instances when I was younger when my dad spanked me, and one time he missed, he got my leg and left a handprint. So then he took me to Walmart to buy a toy, and then he never spanked me again.
Damn. Okay,
That
so
was
then
that.
I had a strict Mexican household then. So yeah, I guess I tested the waters with my mom for sure, especially in like my teen years.
Mm-hmm.
My dad traveled a lot for work, so I didn't see him too much. Plus my parents like have been divorced since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So of course it's kind of the you get them this days, you get them this days. So we spent equal time, but I didn't really ever, I guess because I was still a baby, that I was really close to my mom. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really go with my dad as much.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember I didn't get in much trouble growing up. It wasn't until the trying years, the years where you want to act out.
Yeah,
And
I remember
I
those
fucking
well.
did it. I fucking did it. I don't know how many flip phones my mom flipped the wrong way and broke. I just remember I was like, I would, it was the three words after I know that I had gotten in like serious trouble. It was like, give me your phone, give the phone. I was like, fuck. And
Like,
I
whoops,
could
I
just see she
really
would go,
fucked up this time.
I was like, oh, great.
Oh my God.
I was I was like, I was
She
thinking
gave no
so
fucks.
many. She gave zero fucks, dude. She gave zero
She's like, I'm gonna
fucks.
hit you where it hurts.
Yes, and she did. She knew I was a girl. I was a teenage girl. Like I wanted my fucking phone. What little did she know? Have
Oh
a phone
no.
line in my room. Thank you. It is nothing to click it really quick. There is stealth ways of being able to sneak the home line late at night when your mom goes to sleep. And I still I talked to a few friends a few years back, and we had brought it up, and they're like, do you remember when you had to say like, hey, if I hang up, I'll call you right back, don't call me. Or, hey, hold on, I have to pretend I'm asleep.
Oh my gosh. They're like, kids will never know what.
No.
Call your crush and be scared their mom was gonna answer.
Yes.
Oh.
No, I feel like the newer generation has it so much easier. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have to go through the awkward haircuts.
Mm-hmm.
The I feel like there's so much around now that you don't even have to worry about skin issues as bad as we did. Like
Right.
Neutrogena, the shit now, like Neutrogena does not have shit on the stuff that's available now.
Like
Like
the
we had
apricot scrub and bullshit we would have to use, and it was
yes, like we had a
worse.
cleansing bar. That's it. Oh, okay, great shit. Zaps
Do you
it
remember
for little
those
things.
alcohol pads
Oh my god,
and
dude.
clear? And it would just dry
Yes.
the shit out of your skin.
Yes, I would use those. I would wash my face and I would tell my mom, I was like, these things don't even work. And I would be so mad sometimes because she's like, you better use those pads. I was like, I don't want to use the pads. They burn my face. I was like,
It's not working.
it's not working. It burns. And I was like, you do it. And like, I literally would like put one to her cheek one day and she's like, ouch, that hurts. I was like, you think?
Like, hello, I told
I
you.
told, I'm like, bitch, really? Thinking it in
Like,
my head, of course, because I am not going to get some shit thrown at me.
oh my God. I remember the one time my mom and I were fighting about something. I went in my room and I was like, I just wish you would shut up. I whispered it and she heard me.
Oh, man.
Room, and she was in my face 2 inches away, like, did you tell me to shut up? And I was like, no, no, don't hit me. It was so bad. I'll never forget that.
I didn't get ballsy with my mom until later in life. I think it's when I knew that I was out of her house. I was like, yeah, Nah. You know, like
Time I started cussing around my mom is when I left the house. Even
I
now, I don't really do that.
I started doing, I mean, all of my family, my brothers and sisters, I feel like we came from sailors because we cuss with every
Mhm.
sentence. I feel like it's part of our usual ways. And I laugh because growing up, it was like we we didn't disrespect our mom, but our mom was very just like cutthroat, sarcastic sometimes.
Mhm.
So it was very natural to grow up with excessive sarcasm, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I'm trying to be mean. It's just this is how.
Right. From like an outside looking in, they're like, "Ooh, girl, you disrespecting your mama," and it's like,
No, I'm really not. And then my mom now, like I love it. I love it, and it's a love hate thing because I love my mom to death. But now, because of course it sounds like an outsider looking in, like ooh, But to us, it's like no. And then my mom now plays the card of, yes, they're so mean. I'm like, victim. I bet you use
she's
your.
like,
I
getting
told her one
back
day for
now.
Christmas, I was like, I'm going to get you your own sidewalk chalk so you can draw your body out. I was like, victim.
I'm gonna dump you.
I was like,
Piss me off. $5 is going into your retirement home jar. I'm gonna
oh,
put
I told her, I go, Sunnyside Acres, coming right up. And she's like,
you.
this is why I had more than one child. So that way that decision's not up to you. I was like, they can be easily swayed.
You're like, I could bribe them. It's okay.
So what age did you finally move out from your family's house?
Oh gosh. So at the time it was just a few months before graduation where I met a boy and we got in a pretty serious relationship, like my second serious relationship in my entire life. Like my first one was a year long, and then I was like, nope, not for me. And then I met him, and that just catapulted a whole other string of events that we'll have to get into. But we met a few months before graduation, and then I want to say near the end of that year. So we graduated like in June, and then near, I think, October, November, my mom was like, well, y'all are always together. Why don't y'all just move in? Like, I had some money, and she's like, just why don't y'all get an apartment together? Sure enough, at like 18, I moved out. And it was so surreal. I remember staring at my room and thinking like, I'm never going to live with my parents again. Like, this is it. Like, this is done. And I was like so emotional and sad about it. But now I'm like, I never want to live with my parents ever again. Like, there's no way. There is no way. Me and my mom are way too much alike. Like, there's no way.
And and I guess that's the funny part. And if she ever, this is how I know she'll listen, because this is probably the only time I'll really admit it out loud. My mom and I are alike in more ways than we care to agree with each other.
Right.
So when I moved out, I went to college and moved to Corpus at 18. That's where I kind of started there. And then I moved back right before I turned 23, 24. Um, and so when I moved over there, I moved back briefly for like not even a not even 6 7 months, just to kind of
Mhm.
finish a semester, save up some money, and then I moved back. Like I told myself, I was like, yeah, I don't want to be here. Like Corpus is where I want to be. I was
Mhm.
making trips to Corpus every month,
Mhm.
just because I was like that. I was so attached to it already. Like that is my home.
Mhm.
And then
Right.
I moved back, and I just remember I was like, it I loved the freedom of it. Like,
Mhm.
yes, I was going to have to work. Yes, it was going to be tough, but it was like, I'm finally like my own adult. Like, I don't feel like a child. So I guess it was because like you grew up, I feel like a very lax family.
Yeah, and I feel like it's because my sister was so wild for many years that my mom kind of burned out on her for one. And then I really did learn a lot from my sister's mistakes to where I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, that's scary.
Hmm.
Seeing the situation she got herself into, I didn't push a lot of buttons. And by that point, my mom was like kind of burned out. So I
Yeah.
really put a lot of restrictions on me, but I feel like she did trust me a lot because I
Hmm.
so laid back, didn't really get in trouble.
And and I guess like as much issues as I gave my mom in my teenage years, I too, like, my sister, got pregnant as a teenager,
Mhm.
which it is what it is, like, I feel like it's not such a taboo thing anymore.
Right.
But back then, it was definitely different because it
Mhm.
was one of the newer things. My niece is now going to be 17. So,
Mhm.
um when all of that happened, I know my mom kind of felt like, oh great, I have to protect Gabby more. But I
Mm.
had already seen like I already saw how impactful it was. Like, I saw the girls at school. Like, I'm not stupid,
Yeah.
and I kind of told my mom, I was like, you really don't have to worry about that with me. Like, I never wanted that so young. I wanted
Yeah.
to live my life. I wanted to go do and have that freedom. So
Mhm.
to me, it was like, nah, I don't want to. You don't got to worry about that, mom. Like,
Yeah, same. Like I really didn't get into drugs or drinking really or anything like
yeah,
that. Like I just wanted to be around my friends like any other kid. And around the time when I was in high school, like probably ninth grade to senior year is when my class started falling pregnant, like in the cheerleaders, like all those
girl, yes.
girls. And I was like, there's no way in hell. And when I was in middle school, I had a friend, she was older, but she got held back. She was 15 and pregnant. She was my best friend. So I saw what she went through. And I
Mhm.
was like, there's no way. Like, no.
See, and I was close to some of the girls who were pregnant when I was in school, and I mean, it makes it taboo because they're already in a, I don't want to say they're in an already uncomfortable situation, but it's a different experience because it's not something you anticipated. So
Right.
they already have that feeling of uncertainty. So I'm not going to sit there and be like, hey, like, I'm not judging you, like, I
Hmm.
didn't see them any differently. So to me, it's just like, I can't wait to see your cute baby.
Right. I was the same way. I want to say it was like my junior or senior year, a friend of mine was pregnant and her locker was in front of me. And as she got bigger, she got more in the way. And I'm like, you're lucky. I think your baby is so going to be so adorable. And I like to rub your belly, or I would be mad at you for blocking my locker with your belly. I'm not a super judgmental person. Like it was more like, oh my God, they're in for it. And that's scary. And I don't want that more than I'm like, why did they go?
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
like,
I feel that way about it.
mm,
And as I got into my adult years living on my own, I had found out that children were going to be a little bit of a struggle for me to have.
mhm.
Little did I know, all these years later, that bad girl jury would happen. I would have saved myself tons of money. But so when, as I even lived on my own single life, I was in a relationship to where we had gotten engaged,
Mhm.
and we had talked about it, and we both were just like, no. Like, we were prepared to live our life, do our own thing, and just be kidless, like, just
Mhm.
live our life. I had met him, I call him Mr. Before. I met right, nifty.
I'm gonna have to call mine Mr. Short Stack.
Let's do it.
All right.
So Mr. Before and I met when I was 18. So I met him like right into college.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when I met him, of course, I moved back right after like freshman year of college for that short time. So we did the long distance thing, sucked ass. Like, don't do it. Like, I want to tell people now, if they're listening, like, don't fucking do it. Just save yourself. It's so stressful. Like,
Right.
just
Mm-hmm.
just
It's
don't do
not a
it.
good time.
Just focus on you. Like, give yourself your best times of your years. Like, I just feel
Mm-hmm.
like that was the only thing I could say, is that I didn't feel like I enjoyed as much as I wanted to enjoy.
Right. Right. I.
And when we got married and stuff, we were in our early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So to us, it was still kind of like, no, like, why would we want to have a kid right now? Like, we're still so young. Like, we just wanted to be with each other. We never said like a kid was in the picture too.
Right.
I mean, that's just how we felt about it, you know,
Hmm.
because we had so much we wanted to do.
Hmm.
How did things go with y'all's relationship, the one that you had moved in with?
So the way that kind of went down with Mr. Shortstack,
Oh, so that is Mr. Shortstack.
that's
Mr.
Mr.
Shortstack.
Shortstack.
Okay,
Mr.
okay,
Shortstack is my ex-husband.
okay.
And so we met really young, moved in together really young. And for whatever reason, I had this timeline in my head. Like, this is what age I want to have a baby. This is what age I want to get married. This is what age I want to do this and that. And now I know that that just was so unrealistic and I shouldn't have done that to myself. It just put more stress on myself than it did anything. But we both entered the workforce right out of high school. We, moved in, got jobs, and focused on that. And we never talked about really having kids. We were like, no, we like just being together, being young, doing our own thing, blah, blah, blah. And that worked for us. And I'm glad that we never had a kid together because it did not work out. And that just
Same.
was, added so much insult to injury. But around the time when we split up, the following year, we were talking about having a baby. That was at the point where we had bought our second house. We were both in career mode, and he wanted to go to school to get his CDL. And he's like, once I get my CDL, I'm going to be making money and you can go to school and do what you want to do. And then I want you to stay home and have a baby. And I was like, that sounds good. Like, okay, we were 26 at the time. And I was like, yeah, we've been doing pretty good. This is okay. Yeah, I can picture that. It all fell to shit that same year.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. It was so hard. That was, oh my goodness. So leading up to that, of course we got married, we were 25, and I knew and I had reservations about it, but I was like, this is the only person I've ever known, and so, why not? The issue was that from the moment we got together at 18 until the moment I left him at 27, he was a cheater, just a chronic cheater. And now I see now that he just,
Well, not me, I guess, but
yeah, same situation.
mhm.
Now I know that
Not a chronic, but he did.
this was chronic. This was at least over 20 women. And
Damn, I had two. Okay, yeah.
no, this was multiple women. A lot of it was emotional affairs. I didn't catch any physical, as far as I know, but I mean, I assume. So that year we were kind of planning out our future. I told him, okay, you wanna get your CDL, quit your job. We have savings, go to school, get your CDL. I'll work, I'll take care of things, hustle, do what you got to do. Little did I know, as he was going to school, he was going to meet his mistress before school. And his mistress was his uncle's sister-in-law. And she was living with him and his wife at the time. So he would sneak over to his uncle's house early butt crack of dawn in the morning, see her for a little while, and then go to school and then come home to me. So while I was busting my butt at work and putting his ass through school, he was doing me pretty dirty, which I mean, it doesn't surprise me because that's just who he was, but it was messy. It was so messy. And it was just finally to the point when I found out, it's like, when like I put up with that shit for 8 years, but in that moment, something clicked inside my head and I was like, I am done. This is it. I'm done. And I took off my ring and I never put it back on. That was it. Wipe my hands clean of him.
Yeah, I tried, like thinking back, like I tried to make it work with him at some point leading up to everything I found out. It had just gotten so escalated over time that I was like, what am I fighting for?
Right. Yeah,
Like,
that's how I felt too.
and that's why I tell him, and it's so funny because call it a millennial thing or whatever, but I strongly believe in like, you need to talk, if there's an issue, like, let's just deal with it. Let's just hash it out, because I don't want to waste energy on this, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So to me, it was like, we need to talk about this.
Mhm.
And there was one point in our relationship where I literally grabbed like a calendar dry erase board, and I was like, you go to school here, you work here, you do soccer or working out here, you do the tennis here. I was like, where do I fit in your life?
Mhm.
And he was like, I don't know. I literally fucking dropped the board right there and walked out. I was like, no, I'm done. Like, if you can't even fit me in here and you married me, like, I'm
Right.
cool. Like, I'm done.
Mhm.
And you know, it's, I know it sounds to those who listen that I might sound a little negative with Mr. Before, but I utilize Mr. Before as like a big, big learning discovery.
Mhm.
You know, it took us, I'm not, how old am I? It took us, it took almost 10 years for us, from beginning relationship to ending all of the relationships of now. You know, it took
Mhm.
10 years for us to meet and just be okay with how things ended. Almost 10 years, you
Right.
know. So maybe last year or so we finally like had a conversation, and we're just like, okay.
Right.
I
Like,
just told him,
okay,
I was
that's the
like,
conversation that needed to be had, and we both
yeah, you know, and I
part
don't
ways
mind.
fine.
I can touch on it. Like, to me, I guess it was because like there was no feelings there in anymore. To me, it was just like,
Mhm.
is it weird to say that even though I married this man, shared a bed, a home, families, I was talking to a stranger. Like, I was talking
Mhm.
to, I wasn't talking to the person I married. I was talking to the person who grew from the errors of our marriage, you know, like.
Right.
So to me, it
Yeah.
was like, I got no beef with you, dude. Like, you've changed. You are not the person you were all these years ago. Neither am I. So
Right. Right.
we're
You just
cool.
grew apart.
And it was funny hearing him say, he's like, I really didn't mean to put you through any of that. And I was like, you know, like, I'm sure I wasn't the best thing at things either. I was like, so
Right.
I was like, there's no bad blood. I was like, that's just what
Mhm.
I want you to understand. I was like, we're cool. There's just no bad blood, you
Right.
know?
Right. Right. It just is what it is.
Yeah. And so I had to, you know, just put that little disclaimer, because I always worry. I'm like, I don't want people to understand that I'm not trying to paint them in a bad light.
Right.
Not too much. Not too much.
Oh my gosh, it like I mean, I went to therapy to try to get through all the emotions that he put me through. I mean, it was just so ugly, so toxic for so long. And because we
Hmm.
were really young when we got together, we never worked through any of it. We never talked about it. We never got counseling. We're just like, okay, I forgive you, move forward. Oh, I'm going to make these changes, and then we just fall back into old patterns, and nothing ever got fixed. So once we were to the point where we were married in a home and older, it was too late. It was too late to fix anything. It was just beyond broken. It's like, you know, taking a hammer to a piece of glass and just tapping it over till it shatters. And then what do you do?
Yep.
So, I mean, I can look back now and acknowledge that I probably didn't try as hard as I could have early on enough to get things fixed. But near the end, again, I was so broken. I'm like, there's no chance and there's no way. And even now to this point, I mean, our divorce was messy, like leading up to now. Even I had to change my number recently because he was still calling me. Like, yeah, it was very messy.
So so you said it's been about 3 years now or so.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So since all of that happened, what did you, within that time of self-healing, like, what did you do? How did you bring yourself back?
Ooh, the come up. We're going to talk
The
about
come, the millennial
the
come up, woman. Let's talk about it. That's my saying. Let's
So
talk.
let's talk. That's my saying too for work. I always say, let's talk. That's so funny.
Interested in sharing stories? Let's talk.
So when we, split ways, I knew I was damaged. I knew I was broken. I knew there was no way I would even be jumping into anything anytime soon. So I was like, I didn't even get to enjoy those 20s, the best years of my life, like really get out there and enjoy it. So I'm like, nah, I'm focusing on me, what I want to do, and have no remorse for being who I was and discovering who I was going to be after being a wife and being a girlfriend
Yeah.
for 10 years, you know what I mean? So I had my party girl phase. Like I had a really, really good time. I got out there. I went clubbing. I met people. Like
Oh, yes.
I just, I really discovered who I was, and I changed a lot. Like who I am now is not who I was 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whenever I was with him. But I made amazing friends. I met a group of girls who just completely changed my world, took me in my darkest, most broken time of my life and made me realize who I was and what I was worth. And without them, I don't know where I'd be. Like Erica is one of them. She,
Love me some Erica.
man, I mean, there was a point in time where I was texting her every single day because she knew what I was going through. She knew what I felt like. That girl was my rock for a solid year.
That's a
And
good rock. That's a good one.
yes, and I met some other girls as well once I started moving into the Corpus scene.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still my really good friends now. We group chat every single day,
Oh.
and they're like, "You are so awesome. Like, why did you put up with that?" I'm like, "I really don't know." They're like, "Well, you're ours now, and we're taking you in, and we're protecting you from the world, and we're gonna make you realize who you are." So it was good. I gave myself an entire year to heal, to find myself love, to go to therapy, all of that good stuff before I even thought about dating
And so, any new updates then since?
again. So
Because
this
I'm only seeing
year,
something shiny every other like hand flick.
what
Oh yeah, that.
are you talking about?
I was gonna literally go like yes, and then I'm that bitch that doesn't wear mine because I'm like forever cleaning, and I'm like, oh, let me just take it off.
Oopsies.
But let me see yours.
Oh gosh,
Gee, hello there. I'm
it's
all
so pretty. Right? Like put your sunglasses on and take a gander.
yes, that is bad bitch status right there. So tell me about this person over here.
So last year I decided, okay, like I've done the fun flings and all that stuff. Now I kind of want to see what it would be like to be serious and find somebody to date. And I mean, I had some fucking horrible rotten eggs before I met my man, and we'll just give him he uses a rap name.
You want to use rap name or you want to use a nickname?
We'll use that rap name.
Let's go with rap name.
That's what he likes. So we'll call him Imrath.
M Wrath.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't.
Okay.
So I met him, and we had been friends on Facebook for a while, and apparently he'd been creeping on me. And even now, it's funny to look back at our Facebook messages where he was like trying so hard to slide in, so hard, and I wasn't really paying attention. That's all it really was. I was just like, okay, going about my business, not really paying attention. So finally, he caught me on a good day, and we were able to hold conversation until finally he's like, "So, are you looking to go out on a date?" I was like, "Well, I'm open to that if that is what you're offering." He's like, "Well, yeah, I'd really like to do that." So I was like, "Okay, like, I mean, I had nothing to lose. I was very open at that point. If I got asked out and I thought the person was cute, like, I'm all for it." So he asked me out, and I was like creeping his page hard because I really hadn't paid attention to him before. So I was going through all his pictures, all his stuff, and I'm like, okay, he's cute. Like, huh. Like, I'm surprised I didn't pay attention to you before. So when we finally met, we met at Executive Surf Club downtown to have dinner, and it was just instant,
The vibe.
like just a spark. And I've never felt that before. And I told him even later when I left, I was like, I feel something. There's something there, and I know it, and I'm interested to see what this is. And he said he knew right away too that he's like, I want to make this girl my girlfriend. I like her. So within like 2 weeks, we were already like, okay, yeah, we want to make this official. We want to be serious. And I mean, it's been almost 8 months now.
Get it, girl. And so with him, does he have any kids, or is it just y'all
Oh.
two?
He has a little girl. She's going to be 3 in April. And I mean, I've grown up around kids. My sister had kids. I have no issue with people with kids. I have issues with people with kids with crazy exes. So, I mean, it was uncharted territory for me. But I mean, oh my God, I love that little girl. She's just a spitfire and so much fun. So I've never had any reservations or any issues with that. I'm just like, she's so cute. And I only have nephews that were babies when I was older. I was still a baby when my nieces were born. So now I'm like, I get to dress her up and I get to buy her stuff, and this is fun.
So this is your first, I don't want to say stepmom, but like girlfriend dating somebody with a child situation.
Right. I briefly dated a guy with children, but his kid's mom was just something else, and that really set the tone for the relationship. And I was like, I'm sorry, like, your kids are amazing, I love your kids, but that situation over there is not good, and you keep entertaining it. So I'm sorry, but I got to step away from it. I can't do this.
No, exactly. And that's what happens most of the time. Like there
Mhm.
are so many relationships that I've that had such great potential, but
Mhm.
I couldn't deal with either the child or the child's mother. So I was
Right.
just
And
like,
it's
no.
like you feel bad feeling that way about a kid, but it's like it says a lot about the way they're being brought up. And if you can't agree
Yes.
on parenting, it's like it's not going to work. If you have different,
Yes.
it's just not going to work.
And so it was funny you say how you met. I'm gonna butcher this if I don't remember it when I'm talking.
Let's call him
Emma,
Mr. Clean.
let's do Mr. Clean. I
Let's give
like
him Mr.
Mr.
Clean
Clean
because
because I
he's
was like,
bald.
I was like, all I'm thinking of is Sugar Ray because for something McGrath or something is what I'm thinking. So
Right. Oh, yeah. No, he can be Mr.
I was like, I'm gonna butcher this one. So, like how you had said, like how you've met Mr. Clean and he has children, a child.
Mhm.
There were plenty of times where I met people with the kids and it just didn't work out. But the thing that made me laugh right now is that y'all met on Facebook. That is actually how I met like my baby daddy. And it was so
Oh,
funny
okay.
because when we first met and he was trying to get my attention for fucking ever,
Mhm.
and it made me laugh because my initial thought process too, I guess it's a millennial thing, I was like, nah, like
Just nah.
I gave no attention to it
Mhm.
until because my thought process was, I was like, you're probably a fuck boy,
I
you're probably a fuck boy.
didn't even think that. I was just busy caring about myself.
Yes. And and I guess to me, like that's the implication I gave myself because I was like, I didn't invest like any of my time into him at that moment, so to me it was like,
Right.
not now.
Mhm.
Eh. So it's funny to see other people hearing the Facebook thing. I love hearing how people mate because it's one of those quirky things. Like,
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Like
you're
you never
meat
know
cute.
if they're gonna say, "I met on Tinder," or "I met on Facebook," or "We met at a bar," "We met at HEB." Like
Exactly. The gas station
dark.
pumping gas. Like, what?
It
Does that really happen?
happened to Chelsea off Teen Mom. That's how she
That's
met
the
her.
one I remember it. That's how I
Yeah.
was like, it happened to her. I
For
remembered that. I was
real.
like, that's some shit.
Right? Like you would meet your fairy tale ending pumping gas at a freaking balloon.
Chef and I met online. So I'm like, you know what? Like
Right.
it is what it is. Like I ain't mad at it.
I'm not either. It's funny to say because I feel weird about saying it because it's like you met on the internet like 15 years ago that wasn't a thing that was scary to do but now
Yes.
everybody.
And it's gonna be one of those things that I laugh at and we tell, that Chef and I tell like our families later, like we met online and 3 years later, here we are. We want to kill each other sometimes, but here we are.
Right, but we're still here, nobody's dead.
So, do you have any issues with with kiddos mom? Like, is that an easy environment for you? I know that that's
Right.
a tough area for many women.
Right. So I got very fortunate when I met Mr. Clean and Little P because he has a really good relationship with his daughter's mom and they're good friends. And I am very careful about kids because, growing up, my parents split and then my mom started dating. And I know the effect that it can have on a little kid. So I was like, let's take it slow, be sure it's okay with her before I meet her. Like this is y'all's choice, y'all have to make until y'all are both comfortable having me around her. And they've got a great relationship and I'm so thankful for that. And I've like her and I, we're a lot alike. Like we can talk to each other and things like that. And she knows that if anything, she can come to me, talk to me about, Little P or anything like that. So we started off on a really good foot. And I told her one time, like, I'm very grateful for you. I'm very grateful for y'all's relationship because it makes mine and his relationship easy. It makes my relationship with her easy. Like, we're all on the same page here. Like, our focus is all on her and just making her happy.
That's the best part about it. When y'all first started dating, I'm trying to think of your timeline. So y'all
Mm-hmm.
started dating in like COVID time, like when COVID was
Mm-hmm.
starting out. So
Right.
did COVID affect y'all at all? Like, did COVID put any strain on y'all's relationship?
It really didn't. We started dating in July of last year, and by that point, restaurants were open and things like that. So it was kind of getting a little bit back to normal. But I mean, we would just hang out at home. At the time, he was working from home with his digital graphics designs and things like that. So he wasn't out in the public, and he was also trying to protect his daughter. And I only went to and from work at the time. So when we would hang out, we'd just hang out at my place or go to the park and chill. Like, so we really never felt any effect of that. Thank God. I found love in the middle of a pandemic. What's how does that happen?
That is all I know with COVID is that I guess I'm such a big extrovert, so I feel like that's
Hmm.
noticeable so much. So Chef and I like to go to the river, barbecuing, different things, concerts, live music, anything live music. And
Right.
when COVID happened, like, I just felt like it took away so much of our, like, our outer lifeline, you know?
Right. Like your outlet, your fun time.
Yes, because my fun outlet is that I love karaoke. You know,
Hmm.
like, I love to sing. It's my favorite thing to do.
Hmm.
And then going, of course, and just dancing with the girls, grabbing a couple of drinks, just being able to go
Yeah.
out and be lively, not be at home. It
Hmm.
it got me sometimes because, being over here in San Antonio, like, people are stubborn. They get paid to shut down.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And our numbers are so high over here that a lot of things you can't do this, or you can't enter with so many people, or you it's just not, it's the ability of doing things and not having that convenience anymore, I guess.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
it's dampered a lot. So, like, with us, it put a lot of strain. We kind of took a break and reevaluated ourselves. Still were together, but reevaluated
Hmm.
during everything. And then, of course, once we moved and combined households again, we're now, what this is, I feel like we're coming up to, like, the anniversary of, like, when COVID
Oh
kind of,
yeah, I was telling my boss that today. I was like, it's almost been a year since the shutdown. Like we're
yeah.
on a year already.
And I was telling him, I was telling Chef, I just feel there is so much still uncertainty, but I was like, I'm glad we've kind of gotten used to it, we're
Right.
familiarized. I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad things are opening up more.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing we could not have anticipated, in addition to fucking COVID, you know where I'm going to go with this. You already know.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The fucking snowpocalypse of 2021.
Good grief. Oh God.
I I laugh and cry with my boss at my 9 to 5 because this has just been such a trying time for us. Like, I'm pretty sure I've cried to her more than she's ever heard in the almost 2 years of me working there. Like, this week, these 2 weeks, and I say 2 weeks, even though it happened all last week, because you have the repercussions this week.
Exactly. And I work in insurance.
I
We're really saying that.
I don't say where I work, but trust me, we are feeling it right now. It happens where you live.
Right.
Yeah. So go from there. And so, when I've never been through snow. I've never experienced snow. You and me are 29, so I want to say the big snowstorm that happened like here in San Antonio was like in the 80s. So personally, I've never had snow to this extremity.
Right.
I want to say when Bad Girl Jewelry was born, we got maybe snow for like a night, and it wasn't enough to make a difference. It was gone the next morning. But this was snow. Yeah. This was so much snow that it took fucking heat, power, water.
It's like, I've experienced snow before. I think the first time I was maybe like 11 or 12 and it snowed down here for the very first time ever. So I experienced that. And then we had snow again post Harvey, I think, back in like 2017.
And yeah, see, because that was when it happened for us here was 2017.
And then this shit took the fucking cake. Like,
oh my God.
Inches, but we didn't even get inches. But what the freeze did was still so bad. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna have stories for my grandkids. Like, good grief.
I was so glad, and I'm gonna chalk it back and circle it back to being a fucking millennial, because I am so glad of the things I learned, and this went back to fucking Girl Scouts. Girl. Like, you don't understand. Like, I was so thankful for Girl Scout camp.
I was never in Girl Scouts. I can't relate.
I went both me and Chef, we lost power. We had no power for days. And of course, I mean, we had water, but the hot water was tricky. So I already don't want to take a shower where I can't warm myself back up, and I get it. I could just be, a drama queen or whatever, and just towel myself off. But like,
when it's 2 degrees in your house, like, no, you're not being a drama queen.
My house was 58 at one point. Like, it was fucking cold in here. And I couldn't deal. Like, so Chef knows, like, I have horrible, like, anxiety sometimes. And my mental breakdowns were happening every other minute. I was like, I just fucking can't. And and it's hard, especially, and I'm sure you and Mr. Clean can agree. If you had kiddo at the time, we had to basically just mask her from it. Like, yes, it's cold in here, but we can't let you think it's cold in here.
Right. Yeah. You gotta like distract her, like, hey, look over here so you don't see what's going on over here.
Yes. And that, I feel, in addition to, of course, having to be so attentive with my 9 to 5 at the time, it was so just exhausting, because I'm having to, and like, yes, I could have called bio dad, I could have called family to help, but at the end of the day, it's like, I'm also 30 years old almost. Like, this is my family. Like, this is what me and Chef signed up for. So kind of have to figure it out on our own. So we did try and brave it out, like we just bundled up and kept her bundled at all times. And I think there was one point where we literally took the coffee pot and plugged it into the back of his truck just to make coffee for us because it was so
Wow.
cold. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Luckily, yeah, he has a Tacoma. He has a Tacoma, and it has literally like a power outlet in the back, and we had to do that. And I was so fucking cold.
Like, I will never forget that.
No, I will not. And it makes me laugh because we say that we acclimated to being so cold because now it's like the house can be like 75, 76, and he's like, it's cold in here. I'm like, what? What?
That too, but I like it cold. I keep it like 72, and he's like, I'm so cold. Get me all the blankets. So
You should have heard Chef's ass right now. He tried to say, can we put the heater on? And I go, for what? And he goes,
it's back to 80 degrees outside, sir.
He goes, I'm cold. I go, get a motherfucking jacket.
Get
I go, here, I'll go get you one. And what does he do? He goes and grabs mine. It's not like he doesn't have 10 jackets in there, but he wants mine because it's thicker and it's comfy and it's like hoodie-ish. And he's like, oh, this one's comfy. I'm warm now. I'm like,
okay.
Chaz wanted the heater on. Are you fucking kidding?
No. No, yeah, him and I are day and night when it comes to that because I am always hot. I'm always sweaty. Like
same.
No, and he's like, it's cold in here. I'm like, you are stupid. Don't touch my thermostat. That is like a universal thing. Everyone knows you don't touch another person's thermostat. Get a fucking blanket and shut up.
I like to say that I am that friend that always makes sure I am that hospitable friend. My house probably has everything you probably need and or are looking for. So with us, it's like, oh, what was I doing to make fucking heat the other day?
Rubbing sticks together.
No, girl, I literally went as far to like, I purposely made an alcoholic beverage so I would not waste the Diet Coke can. Cut the Diet Coke in half, put freaking tissues in it, put rubbing alcohol, threw a match in, and of course it created heat. But of course you can't have like an open flame in your house too, because carbon monoxide. So I just took that shit outside and was warming my house.
Oh my God, you're like,
yes, I needed heat.
Oh no.
I was so done. And then so many people were telling me about the terracotta pots.
Yes. Oh my God, that was all over Facebook.
Yes. And then I'm thinking to myself, where are these bitches gonna find bricks? Like, are you serious? Like, yes, let's just brave the snow to go get fucking bricks. Like,
right? Like, everything's closed, people. I mean, I guess some people might have them in the garden, but I don't.
I definitely didn't. So to me, it's like, okay, great. Like, sure, I might have the candle. I can empty a dead plant out for the pot.
And get a pot.
But I was like, I can't. I was so fucking done with the weather that no. I didn't. I'm a Texan. I did not sign up for the cold. No. I signed up for heat and saying howdy and hey y'all. I did not sign up for fucking snow.
And concerts and beer and barbecue. That's what we do here.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you. In true millennial,
I sweat a lot, but I'm ready for the heat to come back.
In true millennial form, hell nah.
Hell nah.
Hell nah.
I don't like that.
I don't like. That's whack. That's
no
whack.
For me.
That's a no. That's
like my boss had a hard time because he lost internet for the week and has a new baby, which thank God they did not lose their power. But he had a newborn baby, wasn't sleeping. He has 2 little ones, and he had to entertain everybody. So he was having a hard time.
Oh man. I am so glad that Bad Girl Jory has such an imagination to her because there was so many moments where she wanted a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We were out of bread. She wanted chocolate milk. We were out of milk. She wanted rainbows, which is Lucky Charms. We were out of milk. You know, like there was so many times we had to tell her no, or we don't have that, or not right now. And
Right.
she had so many moments and opportunities to just be a little shit. And okay, mommy. Okay, daddy.
Like, you're the greatest thing in my life. I love you so much.
Don't get me wrong. She definitely tried our patience here and there, but she was definitely very helpful with the whole thing. Like
She just kind of got it without realizing she was getting it.
Yes. And I think that was that. Don't get me wrong. She is a toddler at the end of the day. So she had her fair share of breakdowns as well as mommy did, but
yeah.
God, no, I think compared to any other situations, I think she was perfectly fine.
Yeah. We had the same situation with little P too, because her mom works in hospitality and with hotels and stuff. So, I mean, she was really feeling it. People were trying to get into the hotel book rooms because everything was going on. So her daycare was shut down. So we had her a lot of the time, and we just distracted her and pretended like it was another day. And she's like, yeah, I get to be with daddy. Like, this is fun. Didn't even realize what hell is breaking loose around her. So I'm really grateful that she's still young enough that she doesn't really get what's going on around her. But bless her heart, she's about to be a teenager, so we'll see how that goes.
Girl, you don't even know.
I'm scared. I am scared of that kind of person.
I wanted a boy so bad so I wouldn't have to deal with the like moodiness of a girl. And I have a girl, and it was just like, even looking at her today, you know, like this is how so much of my, and again, I'm going to bring it back to being a fucking millennial. This is how much of my like growing upness like has just been like instilled in her. The facial expressions, the way she reacts to like, if you don't follow what she wants done. She has a little drawing app on her iPad and is like, Mama, draw it white. And I'm just fucking with her. You know, I'm just drawing it any other color just to get a rise out of her. Mama, I said not other colors. I want white. I'm like, okay, excuse the fuck out of me, little girl. Who are you?
Oh my gosh.
I was like, This is my child. This is 150% my child.
And it's like, it's so crazy because God, that little girl entertains the hell out of me sometimes. I just don't know what's going to come out of her mouth. And Dean sent me a snap of her. He showed her an icicle, and she's like, it's a French fry. He's like, yeah, okay, it's a French fry icicle. And she went to go put it in her mouth. He's like, no. And she goes, and then she goes, like, look, just excuse me, I'm gonna do it anyway. Thank you.
Excuse me, you said this.
Like, where did you learn that
from? No, so my mom's birthday was the other day, and I sent a video of Bad Girl Jewelry singing. My daughter, she was a preemie, so she kind of grew up with like she didn't have a speech impediment, but she had a speech. Her speech wasn't as, and I hate to say, like the word is escaping me. She wasn't as, you couldn't understand her as easily as
she couldn't enunciate her words.
Yes, thank you. I was searching for it in my head right now and it just left me.
You're welcome.
Thanks, boo. And you know, just sending that video of her singing to my mom and was so clear. And you could just see so much personality, and she put like finger expressions in it and pointing and happy birthday to you. And it was funny seeing just that personality. And I can't wait to see how she, of course, with her personality and how she grows up. Because what is that generation for her? Is it Z?
I don't know. I really don't.
Do they even have one yet?
I don't know if they have one yet.
I don't know.
Good question.
Now I'm going to have to fucking find that out.
I don't know if they've made a label for it yet.
Oh, whatever it is, I hope it's a good one. I hope it's fucking punny and like clever.
And you know, it's funny because Little Piece is the same way, like just seeing her true self starting to really form. Like she was telling her dad the other day, like, Daddy, I love you. And then she go, I love you. And then she go, you. And it's like, where is this coming from? I'm just like, I just like to watch you. And then like when she'll get in my lap, and she likes to climb a lot. So she got in my lap one day and just like, I used to like to lay in between my mom's legs. And she
Yes.
one day, and I was just like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Like she just doesn't even know, but it's like, man, that kid has my heart. Like she's just great.
I feel like my biggest mom win is that she loves for me to sing to her. So she is growing up with one of my favorite movies that I loved growing up. She loved Shrek.
Mm.
So she has allowed my millennial ass to transform Smash Mouth's All Star into a lullaby song.
That's
And
different.
trust, bitch, she falls asleep.
Oh my God. You're like,
I
that's a win.
never realized how I made that happen until I started singing it, and then I'm starting singing it more, and then I'm at work singing it to myself, and I'm like, man, that's actually fucking good.
That's so crazy. Like, who would have thought it would be a lullaby?
I have no clue. I don't
Sure.
even I thought so many other songs I would sing to her in our years together, and for some reason that is it. That is the one.
You're like, that's the one that stuck.
Well, ma'am, I could not figure a better way to end a beautiful, beautiful episode. I like to kind of give the guests a little bit of a little exit time. Do you have any tips for our viewers, our millennials listening out there, and people of all other generations? Because you know we don't just reach to one demographic.
This is true. This is so true. I guess, I mean, all I can really say, and it's a piece of advice that my sister gave me right after I left my ex, and it just really, really stuck with me, really resonated with me, and has paved the way for my life. It is just be the most authentic version of yourself, and you will never have anything to apologize for.
I
Like,
agree with that.
you're always true to yourself, and people come at you and say, I heard this about you, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, and what's your point? Like, I'm not hiding that. I'm not hiding who I am. And don't be ashamed of who you are or what you want. It's like people who are going to judge you for that are going to fall off anyway, and you're just going to continue moving forward.
No, it's true. I agree. I there is no better way to be than your most authentic self. That's just for your own happiness at the same time, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Emily, it was great having you today. For those who are interested in wanting to come on, I am reachable at Gabby, Gabby, at shipmyroommatesays.com. We are now live, our website. You can see all of our latest episodes, any videos to see our beautiful faces, any merch links, and all links to where you are able to listen, share, see all content on there as well, and you can contact us on there as well. We are now streaming on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, you name it, we're probably on it, except for Pandora. That one's pending. Emily, it was wonderful having you on. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to have you back on again. And you, ma'am, have a wonderful evening.
You too. Thank you so much for having me. I miss you. I love you. Be safe.
Oh, yes, girl. We're getting together soon. We're going to talk.
Oh, yeah, we are.
All right. Bye. Hey, if you enjoyed today's topic and guest, just stay tuned and subscribe.